Oh, Leanne. Oh, so Leanne says she's having some audio issues. I don't know, maybe try, oh, you can't hear me. Okay. I am recording, so of course people can watch the recording after. So what I wanted to first just chat about a little bit is the whole concept of food is fuel. I think that this is really important for us to all to realize, because I'm getting some messages from people that they're not getting in, all of their containers for the day, and is that a big deal? And while it's not a huge deal if you are like missing the odd container, especially in this first week when you're really figuring out, the food and when to have it and how to have it, this week is sort of all about like, tweaking things and trying to make this work into our lifestyle. But moving forward, you really want to make sure that you are getting in all of your containers. If you have weight to lose, it's really easy to have the mindset of, well, maybe if I skip a couple containers, I'll get to my weight loss goal faster. And I know that that is like kind of where our mind goes with weight loss. Like, ooh, if I just eat a little bit less, I'm probably going to lose the weight faster. In fact, the opposite can actually start to happen. So a lot of the times women are overweight, not necessarily because they are eating like copious amounts of food. They have gotten to where they are because of some unhealthy habits, but then often they start to like cut back on their calories, and they cut back so much that they're sort of into starvation mode. So I'll have a lot of women come to me that have some weight to lose, and they're saying to me like, I'm not even eating that much. Like here's what I eat in a day, and I've cut out all carbs, and I'm eating like 1,000 calories a day, and they can't understand why they're not losing the weight. And it's because food is fuel. And if we don't give our bodies enough calories every single day, what our bodies will do when we do give it food is it's going to store it. It's going to hold on to it because it's thinking like, oh God, when is she going to give me more food? I'm going to hold on to this just in case she doesn't feed me again for the rest of the day. So your body starts to store those calories instead of burning them off. And what you want to do is you want to get your metabolism going so that the food that you do put in your body, you're just burning it off throughout the day. And the way you do that is by putting like good food into your body. So the program works if you follow it, and if you get the containers that you are supposed to have at your calorie bracket, they're there for a reason. So don't skip out on a yellow thinking that it might get you to your goals faster. It can have the opposite effect. Or don't go down a calorie bracket if you're thinking like, oh, but I really want to lose this weight quicker, maybe I'll pop down to like bracket B or C. Don't do that. Just stick to where you are, and just see how things go over the next few weeks. Use your tracker. Hopefully you guys are using this every single day. This is key. And as you move forward and after the mentorship, you might not need to do this as diligently, but for these 4 weeks, I really recommend you guys like sit down with this morning and night and fill it out throughout the day. I usually just keep it in my kitchen, so it's like quick to grab. I love the evening reflection. Like I think it's great for anybody who's like trying to get into a little bit of journaling and just kind of reflect on how they're feeling. I think that this is a really great introduction to all of that, which I think is something that we all should try to do, is like the journaling and being mindful. So this is a really good just little like taster into that kind of thing. So fill out your tracker. It is going to help you so much. And then after the mentorship, you might not feel like you need to track as much because this is going to become so much more of a lifestyle for you in the next 4 weeks. But there's going to be times where you need to like really reel things back in and get your tracker back out, like after a holiday, like a vacation, or even something like, Christmas or Thanksgiving, where we tend to just kind of get off track a little bit, which is fine. because this is a lifestyle, and that's what happens. We're humans, but there's going to be a time where you need to get the tracker back out and start tracking. Another thing that I find very helpful when you're starting out and when you are planning out your day with your containers, because that can get overwhelming when you've got all of these containers. And if this system is totally new to you, you might look at your containers and be like, oh my God, I don't know what to eat besides snacking on 10 baby carrots 4 times a day. Like you need to start, not looking at these containers and being overwhelmed. And the best way to plan out your day for me personally is to think about what you're going to have for dinner. So I think we're all kind of the same, and our breakfast isn't anything epic. Like none of us are making like these crazy recipes for breakfast or lunch. We're all busy. A lot of us are working. So, lunch might be leftovers or just like a quick salad, that type of thing. Breakfast may be Shakeology or just like some eggs or oatmeal. But our dinners usually tend to be more of like a recipe or something more planned. So in the morning, if you can think about what you're having for dinner first and figure out which containers you're going to be using at dinner time, that's going to make it a lot easier to plan out your day. So it's kind of like process of elimination. And I meant to grab one thing, but I'm going to just run to my kitchen and I'm going to show you guys how I personally track my containers. The app is awesome. Like if you are like a digital type person, the app is great. You can just like type, tap your containers, or you can use the tracker to keep track of your containers. I will show you something that is super, super easy. And I think you guys will love it. So just 1 second. Okay, so these are at the dollar store. They are colored popsicle sticks. And I have a jar. It says mommy because I have jars for my kids too, so that they can keep track of, their vegetables and fruit and that sort of thing. So what I do is I just track my containers with these popsicle sticks. Like this is the best thing that I have come up with and makes things so simple. So for instance, tonight at dinner, so I'm going to just pretend this is morning and I'm already thinking about my dinner because I took time on the weekend to plan out some meals, which, hopefully you guys are doing or you're going to get into the habit of doing because it'll make your week run so much smoother. So tonight we had like a crock pot salsa chicken. So basically it was just like chicken breasts and boneless, skinless chicken thighs in the crock pot. I used like a homemade Southwest seasoning, which is in the Fix 8. It's like a taco seasoning, but it's like clean and like no sodium filled stuff like the packets. And then I just put some garden fresh salsa, put all of that in the crock pot all day and just like shredded it up. So it was like a Mexican chicken, which I will be able to eat now for the next few days. So that I measured out in my red container. So I knew that that's what we were having tonight. So I knew already this morning, okay, I'm going to use one of my reds at dinner time. I'm also going to do some roasted sweet potatoes. So I know I'm going to have a yellow. And I'm also doing like a cauliflower mash. So I was going to have one green. So that already just takes care of those containers. So then I start thinking about the rest of my day. Okay, this morning I decided I'm going to have, what did I have? I had oatmeal with some berries. I ended up doing like half of a purple in my oatmeal. So you could technically even snap these in half if you like really need to be diligent about keeping track of like your halves. I usually can just keep track in my head. And then I use the other half of the purple in my Greek yogurt. So there's the other containers. And then mid-morning, I ended up having 2 like soft-boiled eggs as a snack. So 2 eggs is another red. So like as you can see, I'm like filtering through my containers so that when lunchtime comes, I'm like, okay, what do I have left? What can I use here? So I had 2 servings of just like some cold veggies, like just cut up carrots and stuff like that. What else did I have? Oh, I had some like grilled chicken on some greens. I ended up having a lot of greens at at lunchtime. So took those out. So I'm not going to go through all this. I also had some cheese on my Mexican chickens. That was a blue. So as you can see, that's how I kind of go through my days. I just like take my popsicle sticks out of my jar and I know then what I'm left with. But if you start with dinner, it's easier to stay on track, because the worst thing you can do is get to dinner time and realize you have like a green container and an orange, or like something ridiculous like that. And you're like, ooh, crap, I ate the majority of my food already. I now have nothing for dinner. So just kind of be mindful and plan ahead that way. And then make sure that you are eating like every two. No, they're from the dollar store. You can buy them colored. I know. The first time I saw that, I was like, someone painted all of those popsicle sticks? Like, I hate paint. No, you can buy them like that. They're like, it's the best thing ever. So it is super important that you guys are making sure you're getting food into your body like every 2.5 to 3 hours. And I know for a lot of us, we are busy and it is so easy to forget to eat. And like the time gets away from us, or you might not even feel hungry. Like the 2.5 hour mark might come and you're not even really thinking about food. But the thing is, you want to fuel your body before you get to the point where you are starving, because it happens to me still. Like, because I'm not perfect, I will go longer than the 3 hour mark. And then all of a sudden I'm like famished and I'll eat what I've got prepared, but I'm still not satisfied because I've just let myself go too long. And then that's when I start grabbing cookies or grabbing crackers or like grabbing handfuls of chocolate chips. And it's because I just really did not treat my body right. My body needed food every 2.5 to 3 hours. And the days where I do that diligently, and so I never allow myself to get to that like hunger place, it is so much easier to stay on track. So we always live and learn these things, but even if it means you set a timer on your phone so that an alarm goes off every like 2.5 hours to prompt you like, okay, got to get like my green and red container in now. If that's what you have to do, that's okay. Like, we are trying to fuel our body right. And that means that we plan this stuff out. We don't leave it to chance. Okay, another thing that I just wanted to touch on a little bit is Shakeology. I think that everyone's doing really well and really enjoying their shakes. People are posting them, talking about different recipes, so that is awesome. It is so important for me that you guys realize how good Shakeology is for your bodies, because it's so easy just to be like, oh, it's a shake, it's a protein shake. And it is sort of my job to let you guys know that it is so much more than just a protein shake. It has protein in it, yes, but it is not actually a protein shake. A protein shake is meant to repair your muscles after you have done an intense workout. So after you have like lifted some heavy weights or done like a long cardio workout where you maybe have damaged some muscles, that's when a protein shake is really helpful, because it will repair the damage that you've done to your muscles so that you're not so sore the next day. And it just like gives protein back into its cells. So I don't really know exactly how it works, but in a nutshell, that's how it works. So Shakeology, yes, has protein, but it's not designed the way a protein shake is. It is a nutrient-dense shake. And at the end of the day, we're not really protein deficient. Like, I think protein shakes are getting very misused, and people are like drinking protein shakes because it's become kind of like a trendy thing. And, you know, like even at work, I'll see people like drink a protein shake on break. And I'm like, why are you drinking a protein shake on your break? Like, did you just work out? But people aren't even realizing like why a protein shake is important. They're just drinking it because it's healthy. But really, a lot of protein shakes, unless you're getting a very good high quality one, they're actually full of ingredients that probably aren't the best for you, and actually can increase like your hunger because of the artificial sweeteners that are in there, and can make you start to crave more sugary bad food. So it kind of is not like, you got to be really careful if you're choosing a protein shake. But Shakeology is a nutrient dense shake, and the reason why we need these nutrients is because most of us actually are nutrient deficient. It is almost impossible for us to give our bodies everything that it needs in a day to thrive. The food that we are consuming is not as high quality as it once was because of like air quality, the soil quality, like all those things have changed over the years. So even if we are eating like a super healthy diet, we still are not able to get in the nutrients and vitamins that we need. In fact, you would need to eat a calorie diet that is like 20,000 calories in order to get all of the vitamins and nutrients that Shakeology has in it. So obviously, we're not going to do that. So the easiest way for us to give our bodies what it needs is through Shakeology. So Shakeology is completely natural, 100% pure. It's still considered a whole food because it's literally 70 different superfoods that are dried and put into powdered form. So sometimes people don't love Shakeology right off the bat because it is so pure and natural and our taste buds aren't used to those flavors. However, our taste buds change really, really fast. So within usually the first week or so of drinking it consistently, you will acquire a taste for it, which is a good thing because it means that your taste buds are kind of like phasing out those artificial flavors. So for instance, now when I go to have something like a yogurt that is like sweetened, you know, those like Yoplait yogurts or the Activia yogurts, all of those things, I can't even handle the smell of them even, and like let alone the taste, because I can taste the artificialness in them and they're just so sweet. Whereas before, that was something that I thought was like insanely healthy and tasted amazing. But because our taste buds change, which is so good, we now crave like more natural things. So Shakeology kind of makes you feel good because you're giving your body everything that it needs. And so you'll start to notice an increase in your energy levels. Your cravings will start to diminish. Your bloating will start to decrease. Your like bowel movements will become so much more regular and easier. And you will just start to feel so much incredibly better because all of your organs are starting to detox from those superfoods. So when you start to feel so good, you want to continue on that path, right? When you feel really good, you're going to have the energy to work out. You are going to want to meal prep and meal plan. You're going to want to continue to eat healthy. So Shakeology is kind of like this vehicle that gets you on the right path to making this a sustainable lifestyle because you want to continue to feel good. And as long as you keep feeling good, you're going to keep making good choices. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. So do you guys have questions? How is everything going? Feel free to unmute yourself or use the chat box, but I would love to hear like any struggles you guys are having or, you know, if you're feeling good, let me know. Anybody? Should I pick on somebody? Okay, Sarah, how's it going? I will unmute you. Okay. How are you doing?
Good. It's going good.
Good.
Yeah.
Any struggles at all?
So, I guess when I feed the kids, I sometimes will pick off theirs if there's peanut butter and bread.
Yeah.
That's my downfall, but trying not. So
yeah.
Getting all my containers in and able to follow the time nutrition. So I like that because that tells me what to eat and when to eat. So just helps me because it's busy.
Yeah. And sometimes people are like turned off of timed nutrition, but it actually is really simple because if you need like hardcore structure, it's laid out. There's no like wiggle room. Like you get these containers at these times and it's simple. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Amy, how's it going? I can unmute you. Oh. Oh, wait. Where are you here? I gotta Amy, unmute. Okay. Oh, there. You're unmuted.
Good.
Okay. It's going well.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm definitely like sticking to my containers, but yeah, I can't remember what her name was, but definitely like still like snacking on my daughter's like leftovers. That's a hard one, but I'm not working out. I'm gonna try and start doing that next week. I just thought I'd start with a diet and then one thing at a time kind of thing.
Totally. And I think this like is so important. If you're kind of like struggling figuring out the nutrition and you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry about working out right now. Like, I mean, go out for a walk if you can. But I was talking to someone today and she was getting really upset because she's like, I want to work out every single day, but I can't. And she had this like all or nothing mindset. And so I said, plan out 3 workouts for next week.
Yeah.
Plan out just 3, start there and schedule them in. Tell me what days you're going to be doing them if you need some accountability, but this doesn't have to be an all or nothing. Like, it's not like I need to work out 7 days a week or else I'm a failure. Like, no, aim for 2 workouts next week or aim for a walk in the evening. Like, this is a lifestyle and this is like progress, not perfection. So just kind of start where you're at and give yourself some grace. So
yeah, no, I definitely agree. Baby steps.
yes. Awesome. Okay, who wants to go next? April.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Hey, so I got on here kind of late. I just got off work. But I had asked a question in the group feed or whatever it was about the PB2. And you said you'd address it on here, and I don't know if you already did or not. But I've been putting that in my shakes, but I don't know if that's still considered like I don't know even what a peanut butter is at this point. But is that the same or?
Yeah, so I'm so glad that you reminded me because I totally forgot. So I was in the test group for this program back in January with Autumn. So I had access to Autumn like directly, which was great. And she mentioned a couple times that like, oh, I don't use PB2. And so I kept trying to ask her like, what, like, can we go back to that? Why aren't you using PB2? Is it not good? Like, cause I use PB2. And so when she was doing a live video one day, I was on and I just was like commenting about the PB2 thing. And I was very honest and said, like, the reason why I switched to PB2 was because I had no control over a jar of peanut butter. Like, I literally would go at it with the spoon and I was probably consuming like a quarter of a cup or even like half a cup a day sometimes of peanut butter. Like, just being real. Like, once I started, it was like, oh my God, I need another spoonful. Like, it just was a terrible habit. So I switched to PB2 because, I mean, I'm not going to take spoonfuls of powder even if I'm like really craving something. So I said that to her and she jumped on me like white on rice and was like, you need to figure out why you feel the need to eat copious amounts of peanut butter and like what's going on and what's triggering you to eat the peanut butter. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, I just like the taste of it. It tastes so good. So I kind of was like, oh crap. Like, I felt like a little child getting in trouble. So she never actually gave me a really good answer. What she did say was, there's nothing wrong with PB2. However, she just always prefers that we eat like the real, raw, natural thing. And peanut butter is like peanuts mashed down. There's nothing else added to it. So she said when it's just powder, there's been something done to it to like remove the oils out of it to get it to be like a powder when normally an oil is oil, or when normally a peanut is oily and turns to that buttery texture. So I see where she's coming from, but at the same time, there's nothing being added that's like terrible. And so I have still continued with my PB2. I just count it as a teaspoon, which is what you would count peanut butter.
That's what I was wondering. So I just do it for convenience, just because I don't want to have to wash a spoon, and it's easier just to keep it, and I can shake it up in the shake without having to put it in a blender.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I like it better. But besides that, all in all, it's going really good. The containers are good, lots of food, but definitely not too full. Water's a challenge, but been getting it in the past two days, so
good.
You know.
Yeah, that's another thing. Water, like so much water. Like if you struggle with water, then you've got to track it so that you do make sure you get in enough. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. Anyone else? I don't want to call you out if you don't want to talk, but feel free to unmute yourself or just give me a wave and I'll unmute you if you do have anything to say or any questions. Oh, good. Hold on. Unmuting you. All right. What's up?
I just had a question about, so like you were talking about spacing out all of your meals, which I do try to do that because I find then I get really hungry and like you said, want to eat more than you need to. So I've been doing that, but then by dinner time, like my containers are done and I know shouldn't really eat after dinner anyways, but that's when I'm finding like I'm on plan A. So I'm finding I'm still a little hungry like by the evening, and should I just like tough it out, or like the other night I was just like starving, so I'm like I made myself a rice cake with peanut butter because I'm like also not going to sleep at night because my stomach's going to be like, so should I do that or should I just like tough it out and wait till the morning?
Okay, so if I was Autumn, I would tell you something different, or if Autumn was on this call, my personal opinion, plan A is not sustainable long term. Mm-hmm. So I am supposed to be in plan A. I have never eaten in plan A. I've like tried to eat in plan A. It is not enough food for me. I know it's not. Yeah. And I just think that it's fine to kind of do for a couple weeks. And some people are fine on plan A. I have so many people that are on plan A and think it's a lot of food and they do really well. But if you have a quick metabolism and you're young, plan A isn't a lot of food. And if after several days you are legit hungry, like what you're saying, and it's like real hunger, like I was so hungry I thought I was going to like eat Andy one day when I was on plan A. I'm like, holy, like I would eat a bag of like 10-pound carrots. Like it's not like I want donuts. Like there's a difference between being hungry for junk and like legit you would eat like a garden if it was in front of you. So if it's real hunger that is not going away, then I would highly recommend you bump up to plan B. You're not going to put on weight. It's only like another 300 or 400 calories, I think, but it gives you just like a couple extra more containers. So you've got a little bit more wiggle room. Plan A just isn't a lot of containers. Like it isn't. So I wasn't going to bring this up yet because I don't want to like make people confused, but I told myself if somebody does bring it up and mentions the hunger, then I will. No, it's fine because I think it's so important because I have, in the test group, I said to myself, I'm going to eat in plan A. I'm doing it. It's a test group. Like I can do anything for 30 days. Like I got this. Well, I was like so hungry that I was actually binging, which I've never done in my whole life. But because I was so hungry and I was like, how are people eating in plan A? So again, if you're in plan A and you're doing fine, stay there. Maybe in a couple of weeks when your metabolism is like starting to fire up, you might find yourself getting hungry again. And then we can have that conversation and you can bump up. Make sure you're asking yourself, is it just me wanting more containers or am I really needing the fuel? And it sounds like you personally are needing the fuel. So I'm happy to talk with anybody one-on-one about that. But it's a real thing, that hunger.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Anyone else?
I have a question, Megan. Oh, sorry.
No,
yeah, go ahead, Amanda.
I was just going to say that was good to hear because I was like 4 calories from being in plan B. And so I am sticking with plan A, but it's a struggle for sure. But I'm also not working out. So I'm kind of going to just wait and see and monitor. But I find I definitely need to plan and make sure I'm like pairing things, right? So I'll have like sunflower seeds with an apple or something like I have to pair up a little bit differently. So I feel more kind of satiated and I'm holding it together, but it's definitely a struggle. So that was just really helpful. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. And just, keep an eye on how you're feeling. And it doesn't matter if you're working out or not. It's still like, just be aware of it, because the thing is, what will end up happening if you are getting to that point where you're so hungry, you're going to do what I was doing and you're going to binge or you're going to make a bad choice. Well, that's just derailing you so much, not just like physically, but mentally. Like that can mess with your mental. And that's what I was going through in the first week or so of the test group, is I was like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I stick to this? Why is this so hard? Like, I'm a health and fitness coach. Why am I in the pantry when my kids go to bed eating out of like the bag of chocolate chips? Like, but I know it's because I was hungry. And as soon as you start to give your body enough food and enough nutrients, you don't have those urges anywhere near as bad. Like they still come, we're human, but you won't have them anywhere near as bad. So if you're getting to the point where you're falling off track constantly because of hunger, you got to go up a calorie bracket. Okay, Janelle.
There we go. So question about the Shakeology. So you were saying that made total sense about it being nutrient dense shake. So when do you typically have your shake? Like, do you do it because you work out in the morning, right? That's typically when I've been doing that. So I'm wondering, like, should you have the shake in the morning or the afternoon when I'm like craving something sweet?
So it is.
Mom, we lost our remote.
You lost the remote.
Yes. She did.
Got legs and ran away. Okay, we'll go find it, guys.
No, we can't.
Go find it.
We checked everywhere.
So I hate when that remote gets up and walks away. So you can have your Shakeology whenever you want it. There is no like, nobody could even say like, well, the best time to have it is this, but you can have it anytime. There is no best time to have it. In my opinion, the best time to have it is when you are when the time of day when you struggle the most. So for some people, that is breakfast. For some people, they just like don't want to eat breakfast. It's too busy in the morning. They were maybe skipping breakfast. So for those people, 100% have your Shakeology in the morning. I love breakfast, so I don't often have it at breakfast time. For me, it's that 3:30, 4 o'clock period where it's like not quite dinner, but like I don't like, if I'm going to start eating, I'm probably going to eat the kids like goldfish and junk that comes home from their school lunch that I'm going to unpack. So for me, it's that time of day, and it keeps me full and satisfied while I'm prepping dinner and getting the kids settled after school. So that is like my time to have it. So it's like, it's totally up to you, and you can change it up all the time. Like some days it'll end up being my lunch if I'm on the go. Like tomorrow I have an appointment at like 11:45. Well, I'm probably going to bring my shake with me and drink it in between appointments. And maybe I'll even have another one when I get home, because I'm going to be starving right when I get home and I'm going to want something. So maybe I'll have 2 tomorrow. So it sort of depends on what your day is like. Sometimes I end up, like last night, it was such a shit show here last night that I ended up just having that for dinner. The kids ate Kraft dinner and I had a shake. Like, so it changes all the time, but it's when you need it most, that's when you should have it.
Do you ever pair it also with like an apple and peanut butter, or like with a container, or you just usually have it on your own?
I usually just have it on my own, but you can for sure. You can pair it. You can add. I always add a fruit to it and some PB2. But you can even like putting in oatmeal, dried quick oats into it and blending it. It just like bulks it up. So that's probably what I will do tomorrow, because I'm going to be gone for several hours. So I'm going to bulk up my shake to have. I'll put oatmeal. I'll put even like half of a red of Greek yogurt in there. You can put spinach, some fruit. So you can like bulk that up so it's like a heavy meal on the go.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, any other questions? Okay. I will post the recording for this, and just, yeah, keep it up, you guys. Lean into the group for support and accountability, and you can reach out to me privately at any time. But usually if you do have a question, somebody else has it too, so just pop it into the app and ask away, or, of course, reach out to me personally and we can chat too. So I hope you guys have a good night, and thanks for jumping on. Oh, you know what? Do you guys care if I take a picture? Does anybody care? If you care, message me after and I won't post it, but gotta have a picture. All right. Smile. Thanks, guys. Okay. We'll talk soon.